Awesome. So we're at faith. This is a really, really fundamental building block in accessing the infinite intelligence, which is one of those overarching images that we're going to come back to a whole lot as we start to progress into the deeper chapters of this book. Very, very important concept. It goes alongside love. It goes alongside independent development. It's a very, very important fundamental factor in setting up your personality, setting up your confidence, setting up your entire future based on the complete and total faith that you will achieve your overarching long-term goal as we planned out in the secret formula. So let's get over to the computer and let's start to break down the visualization of belief and the total conviction in yourself. Very, very, very important topics here for self-confidence, motivation, and perseverance so that you can achieve those long-term goals. So the first thing that Hill talks about before he breaks into faith is he references love and sex and how those relate to faith. And we're going to come back to these two in later chapters. There are some very, if you've looked at the table of contents, there are some very aptly titled chapters. We'll get to those soon. Those are super important. But today we're going to focus more so on faith, which is so important to developing your spiritual side and just crushing it. We've talked about belief a whole lot coming up to this, and belief and faith are very, very closely intermingled. They're super important because they're fundamental. They're just building blocks on top of each other. Now, I'm going to stress it so much because belief is so important, and we're going to get to an example here soon where you're actually going to see how belief and faith manifested tremendous well. It's very powerful that you come in to this training and then the next episodes having total belief and faith in your overarching long-term goal through the secret formula. So that's what we're going to develop right now. So faith is a state of mind that may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind. All right, huge words there. Affirmation, repeated instruction, and then Hill says through the principle of autosuggestion. We're going to get to autosuggestion very soon. That's a chapter of its own. Super powerful stuff. I want you guys to remember that word and keep in mind the power that you have over your thoughts. Like we talked about earlier, when you suggest thoughts to yourself, when you suggest future, we're going to go through some examples very soon that's going to showcase autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is very powerful. But before that, I want to go into affirmations and repeated instructions because those are just insane. So we're going into this with our secret formula, and we know that every single day, right, we're reading our goals, reading goals twice a day. That's super important for affirmation. It also ties into repeated instructions, right? If you tell yourself something, anything, all of a sudden it starts to embed itself in your subconscious. And once you can put an image, once you can put a thought in your subconscious, if you can embed it deep in your mind, you have the belief, that you have the strength, that you will achieve. If you can get yourself to believe that, it's going to start to manifest itself. You can tell yourself, Hill says it right here, you can tell yourself lies, you can completely fake everything that you do, but if you keep saying it over and over, it becomes true. I'm telling you, I had this guy, a teacher, and he would look at himself in the mirror every single day, and he would say, I look amazing. If you look at yourself every single day, you say, I am God's gift to a woman on this earth. All of a sudden, you're just telling yourself, you're telling your mind, you're telling your subconscious something that you know will help you if you believe it. And you know if you have faith in it, it can become a reality. So as you keep doing the same thing over and over, it facilitates the belief, the faith, the visualization of your future self fulfilling the desires that you have, and your subconscious will start to actually create those desires. It's super powerful because when you develop faith, you start to describe anything that you want, any future that you want. If you can just keep affirming to yourself that whatever you want is possible, it will happen. This is actually one of the foundational principles behind the rule of 5, which states, if you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. Average wealth, average intelligence, average social intelligence, average growth, average job, average family, average happiness. If you are really, if you look at your 5 friends, you're the average of the top 5 people you spend your time with. And this is a really, really powerful concept, because now you can start to think, who do you want to be around with? Who do you want to be like? And start to consider your peer group, right? I know when I was in middle school, very bad peer group, I wasn't having a whole lot of growth development. I was pretty bad, it was not a very good time in my life. And as I started to move away from that peer group and focus more on development and hanging around with people that I knew would be beneficial for myself, all of a sudden, growth starts to go up. Growth starts to grow and grow and grow and grow. And now, instead of hanging around with less than ideal people, right? If you hang out with awesome people, all of a sudden you start to become more like those people, right? If you hang out with a bunch of millionaires, all of a sudden you start to worry less, you start to go towards them, start to accrue, you're going to be more like the people that you're around. And it's all based on this visualization and the faith of those around you and how they impact you, right? So if you're in a whole group, big group of people and everyone's negative, then you're probably going to rub off on you. So you want to be in a happy group, you want to be in a positive group, you want to surround yourself with mentors, not even mentors, just friends that are going to be positive influences and help you grow, right? Like reach up. You want to reach up with your friends so that you're associating with people that are just growth. They're huge and they're ahead of you, and you can leverage that to start to be more like them. It's really powerful. And sometimes that means I had to cut a lot of the people down here that weren't good influences, and I had to just start avoiding them. And because of that, you grow, you succeed so much quicker, so much more by getting around the people that are out there crushing it. Sometimes if it's difficult for you to do physically, you can do it online. If you're on this training, you're on this course, that's a really, really powerful way to associate with people that are out there crushing it, is to get into their content, into their programs. I know personally that was really big for me. There weren't a whole lot of amazing people I could model. So if you can maybe find like 1 or 2 successful people, either in person or online, wherever you can get a grasp of the future that you want to have. You can visualize this future with your long-term goal. Now go look for people that are working in that future, some people that are forging that future as you speak, or in a related field or in a huge public influence. It just depends on where you want to see yourself. But wherever you see this ladder going to, wherever you want to grow towards, associate with 1 or 2 super successful people and model them, right? For instance, I've taken a whole bunch of online courses, online classes, and like paid membership sites like this. This one I know is the course, so it's a little bit. I've tons of courses for hundreds of dollars, $1,000. Super powerful content has all come from that, and it's very, there's that cost, and then it's an investment in yourself, right? So for me, it was just a massive investment in myself to affirm and repeat these instructions of here is how to succeed, here's how to grow, here's how to develop yourself, here's how to have an impact on so many people. And so now that I've gone through those courses, I'm able to model what I've learned. I'm able to model what I've seen. I've seen people just like this. They're on whiteboards, they're teaching things, super powerful content. And now I'm able to take my spin on it, create my own value in the marketplace, and deliver life-changing experiences to so many people. I'm just so thankful for that. That all comes from continuous growth, right? Like if I was just hanging out with the people that were working at Subway, which were amazing development. I can't stress enough, it was awesome. But if I was there, for the next 3-4 years, if I was still working at Subway, I probably wouldn't be here. I was associating with people that at the time were a big reach for me, but as I grew to them, acclaimed to them, I sort of reached their level, and they weren't growing anymore, and I wanted to grow more. So I moved past that. I moved on. I kept growing and growing and growing, because I wanted to get to a higher purpose, a higher affirmation, a higher goal. Very, 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 very powerful content and stuff. And sometimes it's tough, right? Like if you're going up the staircase, to find and develop the faith in yourself and the belief in yourself that, yes, I deserve to go up and up and up, and meet new people and stretch my boundaries and horizons. That can be really, really tough, because you can have some awesome relationships with people that are sitting here at the bottom, but a lot of times you have to just kind of cut that off and move forward, and keep growing, and spend a majority of your time with influences and people that are around you. They're going to expand your individual development and your thoughts, because your thoughts are the most powerful thing. And if the people at the bottom are worried about rent, and the people at the top are worried about 100 employees, right? It's like you want to 10x your problems, and just surround yourself with people that have problems so ridiculously huge that it makes you think, like, well, in all reality, does it really, is what I'm worried about seriously a problem, right? Or should I be thinking bigger, right? Thinking bigger. This is, I think I talked about the 10X rule before, by Grant Cardone. Really cool book. I'm glad a ton of you guys, if you grab that book, it's a really powerful book, right? If you want to like multiply the problems that you're having, you want to multiply your output and grow so much that you just can't help but succeed. I'll probably do the book review and a link below. Really powerful book. It's just awesome. So I'll have that below for you guys. I can't recommend it enough. It's really good. So thinking bigger comes from that expanded social sphere, that expanded influence. And once you have that set, you're going to be able to facilitate the creation of so much more faith in yourself, in your goals, in your desires, in your belief, that all of a sudden success just comes out of it. It's really powerful. So getting back to the overarching lesson of faith and growth, we want to focus on this one thing that he says here, and it's so powerful. All thoughts which have been emotionalized, given feeling, and mixed with faith begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent or counterpart. Guys, this is like the foundation of Think and Grow Rich, right? If you have a thought, anything you can emotionalize, give feeling to. If you have this goal, and you have you have such a deep connection with your goal, right? This is your statement, this is your secret formula. Mix that with the magic of faith, right? And this is what we're working to develop, faith plus faith. All of a sudden they translate themselves into their physical desire, their physical equivalent. So it goes from your head to the actual physical equivalent, right? You have to visualize something in your mind before you can actualize it. Super powerful concept here, because it makes you take control. You have to take control. You can't just expect it to happen, right? You can't just say, oh, it'll happen. Some way it'll happen. You have to take responsibility. And once you take responsibility, you take control, you have this idea in your mind. You have to give yourself the faith and then take action. This is so huge. take the action to get it done. Make it happen. Whatever that goal is, go out there and crush it by giving your faith and taking action with it. Super, super important, because once these impulses are mixed with faith, they're also mixed with positive emotions. You want to mix positive emotions with your faith. Really powerful, powerful way to turn your head into believing that stuff is going to go very well for you. You don't want to use this in the negative way. There's an example here, and I want you to be very careful listening to this example, because I don't want you to think this way, and I really, really, really don't want you to adapt this ideology in any way whatsoever. But it's a very powerful example of how this principle of faith and how this mental manifestation can actually lead to your physical life wherever you're living. So please take this as something to not do, okay? There are tons and tons of people, and Hill points it out, and they have these internal beliefs, internal limiting beliefs, okay? And they think, for one reason or another, that they can't take control of their lives. They think that they can't take responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility for their lives. And their goals, they suddenly start to disappear. They don't occur physically. They're not manifested because they don't have faith in positivity. They don't take action because they don't believe. They don't have the faith. They don't take the action. You have to have faith to take action. These goals might be lackluster things in their mind, but these goals are not given faith. So they'll, they'll have faith, but maybe these goals aren't actually being reinforced. Maybe these goals are just sitting all by themselves, and the mind says, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to have, $1 million, or get this amazing job, whatever it is that you want, whatever that goal is for you. Wouldn't it be awesome to have this awesome, amazing achievement, write this book, publish this book, whatever it is you want to do. But the individual doesn't have complete and total faith and irrevocable confidence that it's going to happen. And all of a sudden, if that faith disappears, this goal, it just sits in the mind. It just sits there waiting and waiting and waiting. But there is no mental commitment. And now, because of that, there's just, you don't manifest the goal. It just doesn't show up. It's gone, not going to happen. Because for it to happen, you have to have that faith. So here's what happens, right? And this is what Hill points out. Super, super powerful concept here. People translate thought impulses negatively into their physical equivalent. These people, they say, can't happen. Not possible. No control. You always have control over yourself. And then the actions that you can take to exert more control over your future. All right? Now, there are some things there it's not worth the effort to control. And it's a very, very small subset. Because if you take the action, you put in the time, you put in the work, you can control almost any aspect of your future. You can control the people that have these internal limiting beliefs. They don't believe they can control anything. It's the government's fault. It's somebody else's fault. They blame other people. They don't take responsibility. You have to remember to stay committed to yourself and have control over your future and be the single point of success in your life. Everyone has 24 hours. The people that, in a day, 24 hours in a day, the people that have the highest success rates take full control over their lives. They control every aspect of it. And because of that, they have surreal results in the marketplace because they know it's possible, because they know it can happen. And they don't due to these limiting beliefs. It's crazy. So these beliefs, right? These misfortunes are what lead to the manifestation, the actual physical equivalent of negative goals. And these aren't, negative. It's like goals in parentheses because people don't want this. But if you focus on something, right, where attention flows, results will follow. Whatever you focus on is where the impact will be. You have to focus on the positive. For if you focus on the negative, it leads to misfortune, right? Misfortune, bad luck, being doomed, right? These are all mental constraints. These are not real things. People believe themselves to be doomed to poverty and failure. And because of that, because of this mental belief that they're going to fail, they're going to be poor, it's the government's fault. They have no control over their financial well-being. Please overcome this. They're the creators of their own misfortunes because of this negative belief, which is picked up by, you guessed it, the subconscious mind. Now, before I read this book, I was not really aware of the insane power of the subconscious mind years and years and years ago. And ever since realizing the insane power of the subconscious, every action I take, every thought I have, has been drastically shifted to create a positive subconscious mind with positive mental images that all tell me and give me the faith that I can achieve a long-term goal. And it's all based on figuring out the appropriate place to plant desires into your mind. And then once you have this desire, like this desirable goal, you have total belief in it. You have total faith. This single topic, this single idea will change every aspect of planning that you do for your future. This course in particular is just an insane example of that. And even when I was starting to write the book, I'll tell you what happened. This is a very, I don't think I've told, this might be in the end of the book, in like the author bio, but it's something I don't talk about a lot because it never really comes up. But I was thinking about this, and when I was planning this out, I realized that this subconscious mind has really been the change in my life. It's just so huge, and that's why I want to share this with you. So this entire course, came out of a subconscious desire to change lives, right? To get financial education in front of more people, to distribute 9 to noon at a price point that hundreds of millions of people could use it to bring into their life, to absolutely change their lives with quality financial education. And because of that, you build, additional information products, education, that is tremendously valuable. I like to deliver hundreds of times more value than I charge. Absolute minimum 10 times more value than the price. And I think I do that very well throughout pretty much everything I do. And if you think so too, I think there should be like Facebook comments throughout some of these courses, these modules, this membership area. Would love to see, hear what you guys are thinking about it. It's so cool to be able to interact with you, talk with you, see people think. I'd love to see a comment if that's your thing, which is so cool. I know some people it's not, so hey, whatever works for you. But what happened is I just finished like all of these local community, these stock courses, and that's what a good part of the free content. I think that it was like some of the bonuses with the book. Like those are some courses that I taught to a bunch of people, like rooms full, 60 plus people. It was awesome training. With those and then so I was working on that, and I was working on Monero Ads, as we talked about earlier, that company. But everything started to fizzle down. I started to finish it, and what happened was, I was in my room. I don't have a red bed, but I have red, so. And the beds in Minecraft are red, so we're gonna use red. And I sat down, and I laid down. And I said, "Look, like what's next, right? What's gonna happen?" And when I asked my mind that, I didn't have a goal, right? So I didn't know what was next, because I just accomplished, a major goal for the company, to get it off of my hands as much, to get it more autonomous, which was super powerful. So because of that, I'm thinking, what is the next step? I thought about my past. I remembered my long-term goal, my overarching long-term goal, and I was trying to plan what would make the most sense to go out and then achieve that. And then financial education, I just realized, like my subconscious, right? Financial education. All of a sudden, everything clicked. I started to remember all the students that had come out of the courses I was teaching and how successful they'd been. Just based off basic information, nothing close to what you guys are getting in 9 to noon. I mean, it's crazy how value-packed that book is. It's insane. It'll change your life. And then I started thinking about how tough it was for me to get into finances, how ridiculously difficult that initial learning curve was, where at the beginning you do a little, but then there's this bam, massive learning curve. And that learning curve took me so long, years and years to overcome. I mean, this is a huge chunk of my life, right? Is understanding investments, right? And I wanted to think, like, well, how could I take this and condense it into this very short time period, so that more and more people could, because right now, you have this small amount of people that have financial education. How can we get more people to take control of their financial futures? And that's when I realized that, hey, dude, I gotta write a book. A book is the best way I can transfer all this information very rapidly, extremely effectively, to so many more people than I'm reaching right now. Because with video content, with courses, they're amazing. But it would take me so long. I spent like an entire freaking year, like months and months writing 9 to noon. All that information in text is something I would never have been able to accomplish if I just made like a course like this. It's just not possible. So that's when I embarked on that journey to write that manuscript, and it all came from that subconscious manifestation of desire and the faith that to be able to build real savings and retirements for masses of people. Super important concept, because I could have spent the next 6 months, next 7 months, next 8 months, I could have taken all the time I was devoting to writing, which was like 5 hours. It's like so much, 50 plus a week, right? Hours, and it was just crazy. I could have taken that time and just traded stocks and just made a bunch of bank or whatever. I had tons of cash on the side. It would have been ridiculously easy for me to just like swing trade, day trade, cryptocurrencies outside of school. But I realized, like, if I was going to work towards that overarching long-term goal to create real savings and retirements for masses of people, did it really make sense for me to focus on myself and my own finances and my own trading and my own portfolio management? Or did it make sense to create, something that can fundamentally change the lives of masses of people? And that's when I realized that it just aligned more with my long-term goals. I had so much faith in the validity of these long-term goals that I had to make the decision to write the book, and that's what I did. And now we're here, and I could never be happier. This is amazing. It's awesome. It's been tremendous. I really appreciate the support. So, with that said, Hill has his plans to develop faith and to emotionalize thoughts, goals, beliefs, to turn them into reality and create the desires that you want by having complete and total faith. And one of the most important, I feel like there's a lot of stuff here, but I think we want to go over this because this is super important. Once you have your positive mindset, once you have overcome negativity, please, no negativity. If there are negative people in your lives, and sometimes, like if your family's worried about you, like that just kind of happens. You have to really consider, you know, do you want to have any negativity from any outside sources in your life? Because remember, you're the average of the people you spend your time with. The people that influence you are going to change your lives, right? If you have negativity coming in all over the place, all of a sudden you might be prone to limiting beliefs. You might be prone to a poor mental state. And that mental state can lead to thoughts that are going to manifest physical equivalents of negativity. It's going to be a bad time, right? Especially when you look at investing, right? If you have people and they think that they've done everything right, they're learning all this stuff about financial markets, but for some reason or another, they're still struggling. All right, they've learned everything they can about technical analysis, which is so powerful. They've done all the work they can do, but they're still struggling. Their portfolio just goes down and down and down and down. A lot of times that can be because of a limiting belief, a mindset, maybe sometimes even a fear of money. It's a very tragic thing. There's a book, and it's very powerful book. It's called The Millionaire Mind. I'll have my book review right below this video, right below this module, whatever, and then a link to that book. That book talks about so ridiculously much powerful content about getting your mind in the right state to accrue wealth. Because if your mindset is wrong and you have a fear of money for some illogical reason, and watch that book review, it'll talk more about it, all of a sudden, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, right? If you're gonna decrease in value. You can be the best investor ever, but if you don't want that money, if you are scared of it, which sounds stupid, but it's a problem for so many people, the portfolio just keeps going down. You have to have positivity. You have to have a growth mindset. That was a really good growth mindset, right? Abundance. All these things, abundance, lead to that portfolio growth, get you going up and up and up and up. And it's all based on going out there and crushing it with your faith. Very powerful concept. So please cut negativity from your life. Just cut it, all right? You don't want to be around negative people. You don't want to have negative thoughts in your mind. You need, like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, they talk about this too, right? You want to have total control over your mental state and the emotions that are associated in your subconscious with the goals, whatever it is that you desire. And a big part of that is money, and that's what that book breaks down a whole lot better than I ever could. Very powerful text. But faith, I mean, it's the internal elixir gives life meaning. You have to have this positive belief, right? You cut off all negativity, and have this complete and utter conviction that you are already in possession of the material thing which you are demanding. You have it. You deserve it. All of this comes down to faith. It's so powerful because the subconscious mind will transmute into its physical equivalent by the most direct and practical media available in order to any order given to it in a state of belief or faith, the order will be carried out. If you have a thought, you believe in it, you have total faith in it, that will happen. We're going to look at an example soon. It's about a man who literally thought himself to death. It was ridiculous. All because he didn't have a positive mindset. So get this one thing out of this module. Positivity you need for yourself, for the benefit of those around you, for the benefit of the people that are going to be impacted by your overarching long-term goal, by every single ounce of servitude that's in your life that you want to achieve, the impact, the benefit, the long-term goal. It's all based on that positivity. All right? You gotta be the most happy person in any room. You have to be so ridiculously happy that people are like, what's this guy on? Because once you have people asking that, and once you're able to achieve that effect on people, abundance just starts to gravitate towards you. Just start to attract opportunities through faith that go towards, that will move you towards your overarching long-term goal. Whatever that is. And that's how you crush it, by mixing faith with a subconscious mind. Perfection comes through practice. You just got to apply this stuff. Get out there and crush it so that you can discourage and eliminate negative emotions and have a mind completely dominated by positivity to favor a total abundance lifestyle based almost entirely on the subconscious mind taking in instructions. And I'm going to write this in green because it's really important. You take in instructions, accept them with your faith, and then all of a sudden act upon them immediately. And this is why it's so ridiculously powerful and immediately effective to create this faith in your life and to have this individual impact on your mindset, because you will take immediate action on the subconscious thoughts you can embed and then have full faith in, because you want to start and you will begin to manifest the physical equivalent of those goals and those desires. And it all comes down to having the independent faith to get out there and crush it with that content. So hey guys, really powerful stuff in this module. Hope it left an impact. Hope it changed the way you perceive your faith. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next module. Have an awesome day. Thanks guys.